Maybe the Russians are all right. Maybe we need to invade somewhere. So anyhow, we've only got a couple more minutes, and then we're going to go right into the show. ADHD? No, Juicy, we don't know ADHD. Some of us are DCHD.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me explain to you so that you understand, okay, Juicy? This is very important. Most people don't know, but Second Life, which was started by Linden Labs, think about the name, in San Francisco, right next door to Pfizer. It's really probably a division of that and Sanford Medical or whatever. And so this was really digital. This was a digital medicine. It's the first test of its kind. The concept is we're all in here for some reason. You can see your date of admittance. Just click on your profile. You can see if you're getting better because you wouldn't be here if you were. And you could be in here for, erectile dysfunction. They fixed that early on, boy. Holy mackerel. And, psychosis. We have lots of people with psychosis. We have neurosis. But the good news is we don't have people that need to get their hip replaced here in Second Life. See, so this is all just mental issues. Yeah. So that's the whole thing, Juicy Fruitsy. So when you wonder if we do have ADHD, we have them all. If you can think about it, then we have it. Hello, Dee. Ooh, we're just about ready to go. And if you really want to see how whacked out things are, take a look at the back of my dress. Somebody made this dress, and I had to wear it. And look at this thing in the back. I mean, my God. Can you imagine if we walked around in First Life with this dress on? And this voice? Okay. Hello. All right. So welcome, everybody, to the 11th millionth show. And good
Bing bong.
Geo says, by the way, just so you know, this is up on YouTube. There are now many, many episodes. We're getting 1,500 hits a month or so. Tell your friends. Tell your parents. Have your dog log on. Let's see how many people we can get to do this. Let's get them all to see what's going on here, okay? And by the way, if you're here, you need to know that you are probably being filmed, and a copy of this is being forwarded to your boss. Okay? So anyhow. So here's some Russian jokes. I thought they were kind of fun because Russia stayed in the news, They go, yeah, we're not doing anything. We just got 800,000 people on the border and 400 new jets and whatever. But on Armenian radio, on Soviet Russia, well, can we call them Soviet Russia again, or do we just call them Russia? Hello, Haley?
Just Russia, I think, yeah.
Russia,
Soviet.
Okay.
Soviet's gone.
So it says, so Russian radio. Listeners asked, will people have money when the Russian experiment's over? And to which Putin answered, some will and some won't.
Okay.
That's not that good. Yeah, another question was, when you're completely done with your new social order, will there still be theft and pilfering? And Putin said, no, because we will have stolen everything by that point.
Everything we're stealing is going to be gone.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyhow, that's what's going on with that. And here are some things that I thought were kind of fun. My girlfriend said she wanted me to dominate her, so I said, okay, let's play Scrabble. Okay.
Bravo.
Just so you know, this is a public service announcement. If you own a Prius, you do not have to put an Obama bumper sticker on it, okay? It's just a given. Relax.
All right. Good.
Yep. According to one comedian, the penalty for having sex with a teenage girl should be having to hang out with them afterwards.
having to go shopping.
When a stingray killed a crocodile hunter, 6 people knifed stingrays to death. I don't know how dumb you need to be to kill an animal to honor the memory of an animal conservationist. That would be like honoring those who lost in 9/11 by giving up freedom. That's a dumb comedian joke.
Oh, okay.
how many times? I mean, does anybody still watch television? I don't even have regular TV. I only have an internet connection now. How many people in this room only have internet connection? Raise your hands.
Oh, only have internet connection.
Yeah, I've given up your.
Me, I only have.
Haley, darling. Oh, you're here. I know. I saw how hard you tried to get in here and stuff. Yeah.
I can't watch Doctor Who without TV.
Yeah. So this other comedian said, I saw the cover of a Cosmopolitan magazine that said, "Is your man gay? The telltale signs." To which the comedian said, I think there's only one telltale sign that your man is gay, and that is you are also a man.
You also.
Bravo.
Here's another great comment. This could have been whatever. This is to another comedian. What Orwell failed to predict was that we'd buy the cameras ourselves, and that our biggest fear would be that nobody was watching. For those of you who enjoyed it. Yeah, so let's see what else we got. I was sitting at a booth in Denny's enjoying a cigarette when a lady in the next booth turned around and said, "You know, you're going to die early if you keep smoking those goddamn things, right?" I responded back, "Lady, you're eating an ice cream sundae with bacon mixed in it, so I guess the race is on."
All right.
So, everybody having fun? We're
Yes,
having a good time?
Yes.
Sorry I wasn't here last week. I
And
will
such.
explain this. I had to help a friend with marital problem. He came to me because I, being a woman, could help him, with what should he do? He was having erectile dysfunction. So, yeah, that's a big deal, So he really wanted to talk about it.
Waiting for the punchline.
There was no punchline. We just chatted about this thing, and I explained to him, but I was really shocked. I mean, I tried to explain to him, there are many ways to please that woman that's 30 years younger than you. One of them is let her go out with someone else. But yeah. But no, his wife is almost 30 years younger than him. And I think 27 years, something like that. So that's a big difference.
I don't know what his problem is.
Yeah. I mean, he's 75. She's like 47 or something. What do you think about that?
All right.
That's pretty, I go, okay. But we had to go through a whole long conversation on that. That's why I wasn't there.
Oh, but baby.
So I got pulled over by a female police officer, and when I rolled down my window, I asked what's wrong, and she said, nothing.
Oh, that's bad.
That's a joke. Okay, I didn't write it. Somebody else wrote it.
When she's really angry.
Yeah. How
Did you
anybody?
laugh, Lauren, when they told you that joke?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I did laugh. I enjoyed myself. So, first up tonight, we're going to give a long period of time to our dear Doc Grun, who last week had a very short, not a big deal. So we want to really turn the stage to Doc. Doc, come on up here.
Thank you, folks.
All right, Steve, what those jeans? Were those a closeout at Sears? Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
This is my country Joe look tonight. I didn't feel like dressing up. Okay, you may noticed I was here before the show started, and I am not breathing heavily. I actually had half a day off today, so I had time to work on some actual material, which means the show's going to suck tonight. So we'll do our best, okay? And I'm going to be all over the place here. Just bits and pieces that pop in here. A little bit of news, a little bit of other stuff, a little bit of observations. We'll start off with some news. This is true stuff. This is from Mount Vernon, New York. A 6-year-old boy is safe after driving his toy ATV onto a New York City highway. Okay? Authorities say the child rode the battery-powered toy onto the Bronx River Parkway around 7 p.m. He was on an outing with his family in Mount Vernon Park when he disappeared. Relatives immediately notified police. The Journal News says that Westchester County Police began receiving 911 calls. less than an hour later about the boy. Police say he drove on a street near the park and took a ramp onto the parkway headed northbound. But not to worry, folks. He was reportedly headed toward New Jersey, so Governor Christie quickly built a Lego parkway, then shut it down, stopping traffic before he was to be hit by a motorist.
Lego.
Way to go, Governor Christie. Okay, now, I just got this from somebody, and I was working on it before the show started, so thank you for this here. This is a true story, okay? You want to take the ultimate vacation. See where the fighting is actually taking place. This is true, folks. Tourism opportunists offer trips to war-torn Ukraine for 50 euros, which includes a flak jacket and armed guard. Tourists can pay up to 400 euro to visit areas where there is active fighting. Tours will see people traveling around east of the country in an armored vehicle. You can take photographs of destroyed bridges and bombed out buildings. Boy, the beach just doesn't sound so appealing to me anymore, okay? Opportunist companies have sprung up in the war-torn areas, posting publicity for the bad taste tours on trees and posts. The information reveals the risk of being shot is reduced for tourists, so they travel around in an armored vehicle. It's kind of like being a CNN journalist. They're like, hi, how are you? Smile. And tours are also offered in less high-risk areas where destroyed bridges, exploding armored vehicles, and bombed-out buildings can be seen and photographs. Folks, I'm telling you what. That's got to be the end of it, but not to be outdone, I hear Linden Labs is offering a guided tour of war-torn Second Life for 50 Lindens, which includes a free mesh sculpty jacket and a freebie exploded home. So let's all get on. Let's all get on that one. Okay, here you go. Big Bang Theory actors get more for their buck. According to Deadline, the stars of the hit CBS series have agreed to hefty pay increases for their new season. Quoting an unnamed source, a publication reports that Jim Parsons, John Galecki, and Kaylee Cuoco have secured 3-year deals. Yeah, Cuckoo. Yeah, she ain't cuckoo for this deal. Have secured 3-year deals for, quote, $1 million each per episode for the 72 episodes the show is slated to produce in seasons 8 through 10. Folks, wow. That's $144 million in 2 years. They might as well be a sports hero, okay? Court reports the trio increased stake in the show's back-end profits. Sounds like somebody's already getting it in a back-end. You and I. It's been said that the trio previously received more than $300,000 per episode, so that's a 66% increase. Now, I'm sorry, folks, but in my opinion, this is purely and simply a case of banging your way to the top. It really disgusts me. It really does.
Banging your way to the top.
Now, this one's for Catboy. As far as hitchhikers go, this one looks harmless enough. He or she, it's hard to tell, is short and friendly, if a little fashion challenged. Get him talking, however, and he won't shut up. Meet Hitchbot, a talking,
that little thing.
bucket-bodied Canadian robot that's a hitchhiking west from Halifax, Nova Scotia to Victoria, British Columbia.
No kidding. Oh,
yes,
my
it's
God.
real. I've seen it. It's adorable. It's a cute little robot.
A journey of nearly 4,000 miles. The robot employs artificial intelligence, speech recognition, social media, and other tools to bum rides from motorists. Look this one up, folks. It is cute, okay?
What's it called again?
The Hitchbot.
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 Deposited last Monday on Highway 102 outside Halifax. Hitchbot by Friday had journeyed just west of Toronto. Its travels are being documented on Twitter, on Instagram, and on the robot's website, which charts its progress on a map. The gender-neutral robot was conceived by university researchers David Harris, Smith, and Frauke Zeller, who view its quest as part of performance art, part social experiment, okay? As they see it, humans in popular science fiction are always wondering whether they can trust robots. Instead, they want to turn the question around. Can robots trust human beings?
Yeah.
So far, the answer appears to be yes, okay? 3 young men gave Hitchbot a ride, bought it a stuffed animal, and fed it a meal of metal screws and motor oil. Older couple, covered Hitchbot with a plastic cape to keep it safe from the rain, and people have been recharging Hitchbot along the way by plugging it into their car's cigarette lighters.
Oh, that's great. That is adorable. I love this thing.
They're not cigarette lighters anymore. They're power
That's right.
sources.
They're power outlets. This is a very cute story. This is a very cute story, but unfortunately now my Roomba is out in the parking lot at the mall sweeping up stones around people's cars hoping to get noticed. Damn it. Okay. This is a story in business for you. A Chinese guy goes into a Jewish-owned establishment to buy black bras, size 38. The Jewish storekeeper, who's known for his skills as a businessman, says that black bras are rare, and he's finding it very difficult to buy them from his suppliers. He therefore has to charge $50 for them. The Chinese guy buys 25 pairs. He returns a few days later, and this time orders 50. The Jewish owner tells him they become even harder to get now, and he charges them $60 each. The guy returns a month later and buys the store's remaining stock of 50, and this time for $75 apiece. The Jewish owner he's puzzled by the large demand for the black bras size 38, and he asks the Chinese guy, "Please tell me, what do you do with all these black bras?" Chinese guy answers, "I cut them in half and sell them as scalp cups to Jewish men for $200 each." This is why the Chinese own us, folks, okay? Now, I got a lot of humor out of Canada tonight. Here is a Canadian version of David Letterman's Top 10, okay? This just makes you want to shake your head and believe. This is your morality lesson for tonight, okay? This is Canada's Top 10 list of America's stupidity. Of course, we look like idiots because we are. Okay, here we go. Number 10. Only in America could politicians talk about the greed of the rich at a $35,000 per plate Obama campaign fundraising event. Okay?
Yeah.
Number 9. Only in America could people claim that the government still discriminates against black Americans when they have a black president, black attorney general, and roughly 20% of the federal workforce is black, while only 14% of the population is black. 40+% of all federal entitlements go to black Americans, 3 times the rate that go to whites, and 5 times the rate that go to Hispanics. Think about that one. Number 8. Only in America could they have the 2 people most responsible for our tax code, Timothy Geithner, head of the Treasury Department, and Charles Rangel, who once ran the Ways and Means Committee, both turn out to be tax cheats who are in favor of higher taxes. Okay, true story. America, number 7, can they have terrorists kill people in the name of Allah and have the media primarily react by fretting that Muslims might be hurt by the backlash? Number 6, only in America will they make people who want to legally become American citizens wait for years in their home countries and pay tens of thousands of dollars for the privilege while they discuss letting anyone who sneaks into the country illegally just magically become American citizens. Probably should be number 1, folks. Okay. Number 5, only in America could the people who believe in balancing the budget and sticking by the country's constitution be thought of as extremists. Number 4, only in America could you need to present a driver's license to cash a check or buy alcohol, but not to vote. Think about that one. Number 3, only in America could people demand the government investigate whether oil companies are gouging the public because the price of gas went up when the return on equity investment on a U.S. major oil company is less than half of a company making tennis shoes. Think about that. Marathon Oil makes less profit than Nike. Number 2, only in America could you collect more tax dollars from the people than any nation in recorded history, spend $1 trillion more than has paid for a total spending of $7 million per minute, and complain that it doesn't have enough money. And number 1, only in America could the rich people who pay 86% of all income taxes be accused of not paying their fair share by people who don't pay any income tax at all. So that's what the Canadians think of us. Now, on that note, President Obama recently went into a bank to cash a check. As he approached the cashier, he said, "Good morning, ma'am. Could you please cash this check for me?" The cashier said, "It would be my pleasure, sir. Would you please show me your ID?" Mr. Obama said, "Truthfully, I did not bring my ID with me as I did not think there was any need to. I am Barack Obama, President of the United States of America." Cashier smiled and said, "Yes, sir, I know who you are. But with all the regulations and monitoring of the banks because of imposters and forgers and requirements of the Dodd-Frank legislation, I must insist on seeing your ID." Obama says, just ask anybody here at the bank who I am. They'll tell you. Everybody knows who I am. Cashier, Mr. President, I'm sorry, but these are the bank rules, and I must follow them. Obama says, I order you to cash this check. Cashier says, look, Mr. President, here's an example of what we can do. One day, Tiger Woods came into the bank without ID. To prove he was Tiger Woods, he pulled out his putter and made a beautiful shot across the bank into a cup. With that shot, we knew he was Tiger Woods, and we cashed his check. The next day, Andre Agassi came in without ID. He pulled out his tennis racket, made a fabulous shot, whereas the tennis ball landed in my cup. With that shot, we cashed his check. So, Mr. President, what can you do to prove that it is you, and only you, as the President of the United States? Obama stands there for a second and says, honestly, I can't think of a single thing. I don't have a clue what to do. Cashier says, will that be large or small bills, Mr. President? Okay, true story. True story. This is how to call the police when you're old and don't move fast anymore. George Phillips, an elderly man from Weld Lake, Michigan, was going to bed when his wife told him that he'd left the light on in a garden shed, which he could see from the bedroom window. George opened the back door to go turn off the light, but saw there were people in the shed stealing things. He phoned the police, who asked, quote, is someone in your house? He said, no, but some people are breaking into my garden shed and stealing from me. Then the police dispatcher said, oh, all patrols are busy. You should lock your doors. An officer will be along when one is available. George says, okay. He hung up the phone and counted to 30. Then he phoned the police again. He said, hello, I just called you a few seconds ago because there were people stealing things from my shed. Well, you don't have to worry about them now because I just shot and killed them both. The dogs are eating them up right now. And he hung up. Within 5 minutes, 6 police cars, a SWAT team, a helicopter, 2 fire trucks, a paramedic, and an ambulance showed up at the Phillips residence and caught the burglars red-handed. One of the policemen said to George, I thought you said you'd shot him. George said, I thought you said there was nobody available. Here's another true story. I-65 is going to be closed tomorrow across Tennessee and Kentucky. They're hauling a 200-ton lump of coal to Mount Rushmore in South Dakota so they can add Barack Obama to the Mount Rushmore monument. B.H. Obama has stated on national TV he believes himself to be the 4th greatest president behind Washington, Jefferson, and Lincoln, but greater than Theodore Roosevelt. Now, they had to settle for coal because they couldn't find a 200-ton piece of bullshit, folks. In other news, we all remember when KFC offered the Hillary meal. Remember that? Consisting of 2 small breasts and 2 large thighs. Remember that? Now, KFC is offering the Obama Cabinet Bucket. It consists of and chicken shit. No thanks necessary. Just keeping you up to date, as this is my civic duty. And now for my close, I will give you this week's edition of the Lightning Round.
Lightning Round.
Oh, the lightning round.
Lightning Round.
I've always been a huge fan of Sarah Palin. She's a strong leader with a proven history of selflessness. I mean, in the midst of her 2008 campaign, she took the time to help out a struggling senior with a severely impaired judgment. President Obama is facing repeated calls for his impeachment because of the immigration crisis at the border. But yesterday, House Speaker John Boehner said that, in fact, Republicans have no plans to impeach the president, which got weird when Obama was like, damn. Boehner said Republicans have no plans to impeach the president. They said, we're too busy trying to figure out how to impeach Hillary. The Times is reporting that Montana Senator John Walsh plagiarized at least 25% of his master's thesis in grad school. Walsh totally denies it and said, I'm not a crook. And ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. The New York Times published an editorial calling out the federal government to legalize recreational marijuana. They don't care about the weed. It's just the only way they can get to keep selling papers. The Times said the government should legalize marijuana because the current laws against weed and useless are the current laws against weed are useless and outdated. Then they said, you know, like our newspaper. Now, the TSA is offering a $5,000 reward for the best idea on how to speed up airport security lines. So far, the best idea is making a line for people who know what they're doing and another line for people who've never been to an airport before. That'll get them. According to the Center for Disease Control, the largest single transmission of deadly germs is a handshake. You're lucky because the most popular form of greeting here in New York is a middle finger. So you're safe. In Washington, the White House passed a bill to go forward with a lawsuit against President Obama. Who says Congress can't get anything done? They're suing the president. But that lawsuit against him is ridiculous unless you do the trial on Judge Judy. Then I'm all for it. Now, the New York Times published the first part of a 6-part series that calls for federal legalization of marijuana. You remember newspapers, those things we used to read before BuzzFeed asked us which sandwich we were? And the Times editorial board argued, after weighing the pros and cons, that the scale tips in favor of legalizing marijuana nationwide. You know how long it's going to take people to finish the New York Times crossword puzzle now, dude? The FBI has captured a man accused of sending over 500 letters filled with white powder to President Obama. The FBI said he was a disillusioned middle-aged man who felt beaten down and powerless at work. And the guy who sent the letters was kind of a mess, too. The New York Times came out in favor of marijuana legalization. Apparently, someone told them that marijuana users are really into buying papers, man. Supporters of former Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez have released a new font in the style of his handwriting. Although I'm surprised he wrote anything by the hand since he was so used to dictating. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger's birthday this week. Arnold celebrated quietly at home with his family, his friends, and his families. U.S. intelligence now says that the Malaysian flight was definitely taken down by Russian separatists. But those Russians, they stick with that Soviet propaganda. Putin said, no, it's because one of the passengers turned on the cell phone. Either that or Pussy Riot shot it down. Now, there's a 12-hour ceasefire in the Middle East, otherwise known as reloading. The Palestinian leaders have called for a day of rage. In Los Angeles, we also have a day of rage. That's when you're trying to drive when Obama's in town. But you know what? Hollywood liberals, they're still crazy in love with him. Even when his motorcade turns a freeway into a parking lot, they're like, that was the most impressive traffic jam ever. The way all those cars came together. And President Obama's wife, Michelle, has highlighted her hair. She has blonde highlights on her hair now. And those will probably be the only highlights of his second term. And in Denver this week, they're hosting a marijuana job fair. Who will be attending? Companies that want to hire stoners and stoners who want to work. So I don't think anyone's going, folks. Okay. That is my repertoire for the evening, folks. Enjoy the rest of your show, and thank you for it.
Yay!
Whoa! Let's give it up. Give it up. Yeah, thank you so much. Doc, it's so good to have you back. You have missed. Yeah. You know, you were saying this, but, you know, people always say, you know, if America doesn't start getting its act together in 50 years, we'll all be speaking Chinese.
That's it.
You really think we're smart enough to learn
Chinese?
Sure, I can speak Chinese. Chicken fried rice. Chicken fried rice.
With my penmanship, can you imagine me try to write it? God, that's what it would mean.
Mugu gaitan.
Right. Yeah. One fellow who wanted to play The Bachelor said if he'd been on The Bachelor, he would have played Mario Kart for 8 weeks and then picked the one with the biggest boobs. So, yeah. That's not that funny, but you can laugh anyhow. Anyhow, everybody having a good time, just having some fun, enjoying themselves. I tell you, this is still the best show in Second Life and top 5 in First Life. We beat out the Kardashians last week. We're going to start our own. We're going to start our own game.
Bye.
The Laurens. Yeah. I'll sell used dresses from Second Life to them on eBay. Do you remember people were selling Second Life clothing on eBay? I remember that, which was kind of stupid since you couldn't bring it in world. Yeah, by the way, Jwheels, a woman comedian who is also in a wheelchair, this was one of her jokes. She said, I'm fairly certain that the only reason I was born crippled was because God knew I wouldn't be able to resist the urge to become a stripper. So, anyhow, so let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, this is it, Second Life. Yeah. So I always like going over and seeing some of the different issues they have, you know, because you have to imagine that if people issues in Second Life, they tried to say to people they knew in First Life that didn't play the Second Life, they go, well, what are problems you have when you're in Second Life? And here are some of them. Well, I have a failure to parse link data in an ALSV3 server replies after a link creation. Right. Okay. How'd your day go? Oh, I'm adding normal and specular textures are not saved after closing edit tools. Right. Okay. Right.
That's a bad day.
That's funny. I just can't find my cock sometimes. You know, I must not be that important.
How'd you feel today? Well, the lower half of my avatar would remain gray for the past 2 months. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I'm online, mesh avatars display inconsistent Z height offsets. Right? Would you like to date me? Yeah, not really. Oh yeah, I mean, come on, this is great, But I love these things; they're fantastic, Yeah, Oh, you're having a trouble with your get that zipper on your dress? Let me tell you something. I can't remove clothing in SSA the Tiger. Whatever that means, I don't even know what that means. Okay, honey, don't worry about your wrinkles. I got blurry upper body in Second Life. And these are right there. These are different things people put in there. You can just imagine the conversations, honey, come on, it's beautiful outside. Yeah, well, I'm testing sunshine in Second Life. Yeah, you think you got problems with your hair? I'm having problems with my avatar skin and eye texture. Yeah, so those are some, I don't know, they're kind of cool, Yeah. And all the issues of Second Life, they put them up there. These are new issues too. This is not old stuff. This stuff has been not that old, And now Second Life updates your viewer when you're in world, right? It says the next one's an update. Do you want to update? Do you want to log out? Do you want to crash? And if you say no, they crash you anyhow. They make you do it. It's kind of interesting. It's like, right. Did you work as a warden on Orange is the New Black?
No.
I just finished the end of it. I know DrFran saw it, when one sitting. I've got through the whole thing. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yep.
No spoilers, please. No spoilers.
No spoilers. Just know that we're sure there's going to be a season 3. Just so you know.
Oh,
there's no doubt about that. They've set it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh-ah.
So yeah, right. Now you don't have to get a job next year again.
Yeah, no, just stay home and watch this.
Yeah. They're really going to make us all psychotic because now we watch these TV things, the entire year's episode, like in 14 hours straight or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't know when it is or it isn't, what day it is. We used to know it was Tuesday, it was 6 o'clock because that's when we were watching something. Now we don't have a fucking clue what day it is. What day is it? I don't know. I don't care. Right. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Somebody posted Apple is eating lentils for the first time and he's loving them. Is that where do people post this stuff? That's another thing. Facebook. How many of you have a Second Life Facebook account? Anybody in here?
No.
Yes.
I have a Facebook, but not a Second Life one.
You don't even have a First Life Facebook. Is that correct, Catboy? You've got a Third Life. Yeah, but, remember Facebook said, well, we're going to be positive. They're all just real people. They're going to be positive, right? Yeah, that didn't work out. By the way, did you hear about the double-decker bus that crashed into Times Square? Yeah.
Yes.
That's the gray line. So next time you're in the city, if you want a real Fast and Furious sort of trip, get on the gray line. It's competing with the Disney, right? Hey, listen to this. This news came out today. I thought this was interesting. Yeah. A new report argues inequality is causing slower growth. Now, the only reason that made the news was that was S&P, like we didn't know that. Give us the fucking money and we'll spend it, okay? All right, we're not going to spend $82 million on a one-bedroom apartment because that's not helping anybody out, okay? That's just trading, that's trading monopoly money between people. Give me an extra $50. No, because he's going to pay $82 million for a place in the country. It's not going to do anything. It just is monopoly money. Give me $50. I'm going to spend it on some piece of shit that's worthless right after I got it. Come on, let's be accurate. And, I just found the coolest new... See, $30 I spent. the coolest new Bluetooth speaker, also has a mic in it, by Lepau Modra is what it's called. It comes in blue, green, and orange. You should look it up. Lepau, Lepow, Modra, M-O-D-R-E. It's about 3 inches tall, beautifully made, and the sound is exquisite. Now, anyhow, next up, right here on our stage is Bubblepop, who hasn't been here in a while. Don't worry, Catboy. You had the last roll
That's okay.
last week. Come on, Bubblepop. Let's get up. Bubblepop. Yay.
Wow, what a reception. Thank you. Yeah.
Wait till you see what we do after you're finished.
I don't know if anyone has heard about the comic book convention. That was
Oh,
one
yeah,
in
San
Vegas?
Diego, right?
The San Diego one.
Right.
Hugh Jackman made an appearance. Well, he was dressed as Wolverine at the comic book convention. He had to pull out his ID to prove he really was the real Wolverine.
Yes.
And yeah, that's
think
when
it's
it dawned on him in an interview. He said the best way for him to go out in public incognito is to disguise himself as Wolverine.
Yeah. People think he's just some lousy cosplayer. We'll say he's a nerd and leave him alone.
Oh, I like watching cops TV shows because I like to root for the suspects, you know? Run! Lie! Tell them you have no idea where the drugs came from and you have a gun because you believe in the Constitution!
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's like rooting for the Cleveland Browns. One other thing I want to talk about is school shootings. Yeah, we always hear about the sad shootings in schools. Sad news about losing the life of a promising young student. But why don't we hear about the loss of the mediocre student who couldn't make the softball team and was a horrible tuba player?
Never say that.
Yeah, I might like to see a vigil for Mikey Skorcheski, the socially awkward scrawny kid who was always picked last in Phi Ed.
Yeah.
After every school shooting, there's a chubby kid and a scrawny kid up in heaven going, even after death, they're still getting all the attention.
God. Okay.
Recently, a man was sentenced to death. He took over 4 hours to die. And after arguments of cruel and unusual punishments, I thought of different angles to carry out our executions. I got 6 ideas here. Number 6, drowning in cotton candy. Huh?
Oh,
man.
yeah. Is that your last meal?
Yeah. Well, or a 10-year sentence to McDonald's. Huh?
That's a lingering death.
Yeah.
Or build a miniature Disneyland in North Dakota filled with Ebola. Let them run around.
Oh, okay. Another Ebola joke. And we thought we couldn't do any.
Or how about sword swallowing on America's Got Talent?
Okay.
Or be featured as the first real death on the hit TV show Dexter?
No.
No?
Turn it into a reality show.
And there's my favorite, an IV of poison in the left arm, liquid mushrooms in the other, and hey, if it takes more than a few hours, you're considered lucky.
Oh, God. Okay. Want to get
Oh,
high?
I don't know if all that stuff went over. I hope I don't get booed for this last part.
We were hoping to.
Bordering on dangerous territory here, but you know, there's a lot of young people who grow up and they're like at that point in their life, they're a little trying to figure out themselves, not sure if they're gay or straight or other. So to help them out, I came up with a straight or gay quiz. All right. For example, you might be gay if you're commenting on another man's physique and his abs after he takes his shirt off. Unless it's Bruce Lee, then you might be straight.
Okay.
If you order a bagel at a restaurant, you might be gay, But if you eat immediately the whole thing in 4 bites without putting any condiments on it and say, hey, not bad, you might be straight.
Okay.
If you go to Barnum and Bailey's circus and your favorite act is the lion tamer in his tight pants with long blonde hair and holding a whip, you might be gay.
Oh, baby.
But if you're waiting for the lion to maul the lion tamer, you might be straight. If you feel more comfortable sitting down on the toilet to take a pee, sometimes you might be gay. But if you pass out in a drunken haze and halfway through your sleep you wake up and you realize you're pissing yourself and you decide to go back to sleep and worry about it later, you might be straight.
Yeah.
It's not gay to go to a baseball stadium and order a hot dog from the vendor. But, you know, if you take the hot dog out of the bun, swallow it whole without chewing it, then you might be gay. All right, last one. If you dress your pet dog or cat in costumes and sprinkle glitter on them, you might be gay. But if that costume includes sunglasses, a white t-shirt after Labor Day, and no pants, you might be straight. Thank you, everyone. Glad to be back here with you all.
Yay, welcome back. Welcome back.
Yay!
By the way, everybody, just so you know, we have a new performer tonight coming on in 20 minutes. His name is Ganjo Mokeev. Was that right? Ganjo Mokeev. It's a guy, correct, Jwheels? Is that right?
I think so.
Okay. If he swallows the whole hot dog, he might be. Anyhow, this just came over, by the way, the news wires. Russian gang amasses over 1 billion internet passwords. So that's the 500 million email addresses, all right? And this company's already figured out there's only 20 of these guys. They all know each other. They live in the same town, you know, in central Russia, you know? And they're actually using this stuff right now. They haven't figured out how to sell it lucratively yet, so they're just using it to spam and stuff. So there you go. So shortly, you know, I don't know. I don't think we're going to have any security, right? Yeah, that's what's going to happen. In the end, our identities will be stolen and we'll be given better ones by our government. Yeah. So anyhow, well, let me get Catboy up here because I don't know how much he's got to do, and then we'll feed into the next. We've had so many good comedians here today. Haley, I'm so glad to see you, darling. You've been missed. Okay, and all the rest of you. As you're coming up here, Muse, I'm so glad you're here. Charlize is over here. In case you don't know, she's got a fabulous cheerleaders group. Juicy Fruitsy is here, who's fantastic. Oh yeah, BobLoblaw is here. I'll try to get through everybody before we're over. Come on up here. Holy moly, you look like level 142 on Candy Crush.
It would look like the Easter Bunny was chewing gum and it just got out of hand. Anyway, what are we going to get to first? What's up first? Anyone here that Orlando Bloom took a swing at Justin Bieber last week? Took a swing at it. Happened in Ibiza. Yeah. Now, Orlando said that he did not connect, but his hand's been sore all week from high-fiving people all week long. So the fight did cause a huge controversy, as there's basically a civil war brewing between teenage girls who read Teen Bop magazine, because you know both of them are in there. Two extremist camps are forming between the Biebers. It's between the Biebers and the Bloomers. Sounds like a conflict between bras and underwear. The conflict even now has its own hybrid name. It's called the B-Lando conflict, not to be confused with the B-Lando conflict in the 1980s when Billy D. Williams drunkenly ran into a hornet's nest. The B-Lando conflict. Okay, anyone here? You were talking about clothes. Victoria Beckham. Oh, who's booing? Who's doing that? Victoria Beckham, former Posh Spice, is selling off 600 pieces of clothing to donate to charity. Posh Spice, remember her? I'm darn right surprised there would be that many people that could actually wear her clothes. It's like, if someone asked me how could Victoria Beckham's clothes benefit charity, I would have said donate them to survivors of famine. They may be starving, but at least they would look cute. All right. Okay, moving on. Recently, Jimmy Kimmel took a poll from his audience as about what is the worst thing you have ever woken up to. Worst thing. And of course, he got a lot of cute or, hilarious replies. Like a lot of people said, I woke up in bed with my boss. I woke up in bed with my cat who dragged a dead bird in. One couple had a horror story, woke up being covered in diarrhea that was sprayed all over them by their SO. Worst thing I ever woke up to, I fell asleep after that, and I woke up to The View on my TV. Didn't care for that. The View. Didn't you? Oh, okay. Bottom Ching. All right. Amazing. Bottom Ching. All right. Amazing Race. Has anyone watched that TV show? That's when people go.
Not anymore. God.
It's kind of. Yeah, it's kind of dying out.
Amazing Race and Survivor should join forces.
And this is how you know that show's. This is how you know that show's on its way out. Is that there's a Canadian version because there's a Canadian. What is it? The house thing. People staying in the house. There's a Canadian one now. That's run its course. American Idol. There's a Canadian version. It's run its course, and now there is a Canadian version of Amazing Race. And of course, well, that's sort of like the death knell for a reality show. It's in Canada. Now, I saw the episode where they were trying to drive a rented car from Edmonton to Regina, and the Toronto couple got lost. And they had to stop and ask for directions. And they asked this gentleman on the side of the road, they said, where are we? And he said, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And then the couple said, just our luck. We had to run to one guy in the fucking province that doesn't speak English. Okay. Oh my gosh, here's another story out of New York. There's been so many crazy things going on in New York. A woman with a stolen boa constrictor that was wrapped around her neck and in possession of a large amount of marijuana crashed her car into a firehouse in New York City. When the driver realized that she had crashed into a firehouse, the first thing she did was ask for a light. Got a light? Big chunk of marijuana there. Okay, in Dorset, Minnesota, here's something that's pretty weird. A 5-year-old boy is running for mayor. Anyone hear about this? 5-year-old boy is running for mayor, but he was beaten by a 16-year-old. This is the one time, this has to be the one time in politics where a 16-year-old, your qualifications are experience over your opponent.
Where is this?
It was in Dorset, Minnesota. It
can't be a real town. Don't you have to have an age thingamajiggy?
I don't know. Listen, we've been doing comedy for years where...
it's Minnesota, yeah. Right.
Some town always appoints a dog or a rabbit or a donkey or something, and it's all perfectly legal. Happens all over the place.
Well.
Yeah. But anyway, when asked for a comment, the 5-year-old asked, "What's a mayor?" Seriously, I don't know. I'm 5 years old. Don't know. Afterwards, the mayoral candidate shit his pants and cried that he didn't have his juice. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That was Rob Ford. Now, here's a joke. I'm surprised. Here's something that I'm genuinely surprised. Bubblepop, you didn't know about this. A Vegas casino refuses to pay out $1.5 million to players. This happened. They refused to pay out $1.5 million to players when it was discovered the cards that they had been dealt were not shuffled. They were brand new out of the deck and was put directly into the shoebox. Now, the players, they figured out that the cards were coming out in the order of a brand new open deck. So they upped their bets to the maximum of $5,000 a bet when they originally were betting $5 a bet. They went through 14 hands. 14. How do you go through that many before you realize you fucked up? Before the
pit boss is on break. That's how.
I know. So somewhere there's a new guy whose shoes I wouldn't want to be in right now because those shoes are probably full of cement. And that's all I have for tonight, everybody. So.
All right.
Oh, bravo, bravo. Well done. Yeah.
All right.
That's great. So everybody having fun here. Let's take a look. I say that. Look at Sunbeam. How are you? And Dee, John Sims. And by the way, Jwheels, is our entertainer in the house yet? Just out of curiosity. Anhayla is here. Hey, Anhayla. How are you?
Hello.
Happy face.
Yeah. Jwheels, you still here? Or did you leave?
He may be gone.
I'm right here, Lauren, right
Go
here.
ahead.
Well, is our
Sorry about that.
Oh, there's Ganjo Mokeev. Hello, Ganjo.
It's Ganjo right here.
Yeah, fantastic. How are you? You doing all right? You ready to do your show tonight? Yep. So anyhow, all these stuffs of the people's emails and all the rest of it, I tell you. You know what? I don't understand this. Okay, I mean, you got to explain something now. How many people are familiar with Hasidic Jews? They wear these black suits, you know, that apparently were only made in 1931 in Budapest. I mean, what they wear before? Yeah. I mean, what were they wearing before? I mean, how did it work out? You know, did God look down one day and say, that is good, wear that? And they go, but it's itchy
Size
and it's hot. And
38.
it's, right, 30. What is the story with that? Does anybody? The Hasidic Jews, very nice, Kurt. Hasidic Jews, right?
I got a question for you, Lauren.
Yes, right.
You just asked Jwheels if our entertainment for the evening was here yet for 6 p.m. and I was just wondering what do you call the last 49 minutes of the show if not entertaining?
Filler.
Yeah.
Our musical
fluffers.
entertainment. Yeah. Boy, we've been going out this thing. This is August now, so we now are in what season? We started the first season of this show, not Lauren's Live, but this show was August of 2007. So how many is this? 7? We're going into the 8th season. Is this the 7th or the 8th season? Which
That's
one are we
right,
going
yeah.
into? Which one are we going into?
We're going into the 8th season right now.
Holy moly!
Yep.
Hey, do we get benefits from you for doing this many years? God, 7, 8, going into the 8th season. Yeah, and trying to keep a girlfriend in first life when she knows what I do in second life, that's a real challenge, It's very unique. Because she logs on and sees the back of this dress, she's going to be wondering what kind of a slut I am,
Yeah, she's just pissed off. You dress better than her, that's all.
Exactly.
Where'd you get that shoes?
Yeah, we go through that stuff, absolutely. But you know what? Every one of us who has our identity here in Second Life, let me say, don't you all really feel your identity in Second Life is really just as much a part of you in First Life? It's just that you don't want the people
kidding?
in the
If
car
I was
next to you
this
to know
short
you're
in
crazy.
real life, you couldn't stop me from dressing like this. All right.
There you go. See, I mean, we really are these characters, for whatever it's worth. I mean, I'm convinced Haley walks around in First Life with a little green skirt on like that around the house. Absolutely. And so why don't I let our dear friend Ganjo get up on stage? We'll continue, but let's let him get up and get set up so that we know that everything's working and the rest of it. Does that sound good, Jwheels?
That works for us.
Yeah, I like to always get him up here and get him going and stuff. We have the presidential seal up there of the United States. I don't know why I put it up there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe so that Doc Grun could stand on it. Yeah. So, I love your little avatar, BobLoblaw. Very nice, very nice. Reggie's not here tonight, I see. Sayrah, that's good to see you here. Yeah, and for those, I have not heard Ganjo before. And it's Ganjo. Is that like the masculine for ganja? Is that
He will probably tell you when the show starts. I'm not actually sure. I've heard him a couple of times. He's really good. You guys are gonna love him.
Oh, fantastic! Well, you're terrific at putting this all together. Yeah, and yeah. So anyhow, anybody get married in First Life recently? Because that's about as obsolete as the newspapers. I mean,
oh my God!
It's an interesting world we're living in right now. It's very nice. all those tunnels. Did you see all the tunnels that the Israelis did away with? You know that. You know what I heard? That put Papa John's in Jerusalem out of business.
No more 30-minute deliveries for Pizza Hut.
Right, that was the end of that. I mean, it was just ruined everything. I heard 12 of them were built by Amazon. Oh yeah, but what a time! God, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's just not working out, is it? Somebody said to me, "Will there be peace in the Middle East?" Yes, when the small pieces, there will be peace in the Middle East. Right? Exactly. That's it. All right, you let me know when Ganja's ready to go, okay, Jwheels?
I will. I certainly will.
All right. Yep. God, we've done another show. Can you believe we did a whole hour? Thank God for Doc Grun being here and for Bubble Pop and for Catboy. Yeah. Yep. Thank God for the news that always gives us so much good information, you know, to have fun at and enjoy. Yep. And the S&P says they worry about income inequality. You know, the problem is it doesn't make any difference what they ever do anymore. You can never get it back. You can't have somebody with $9 billion give up like $200 million and help anybody out. It's over. Yeah. I hate to say it, but that's over. You know, they'll do a couple little things to make believe people do a little better, but it's over. You're going to save virginity. Why was I going to save virginity? Virginity.
Because you can't get it back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. You can't get it back. You can in Second Life. You could buy your virginity back. Yeah. By the way, that they had a re-virginize.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Yeah, yeah, they really did. For some money, I don't even know if anybody bothers with this anymore. Anybody have sex in Second Life in the last year? Anybody have sex in First Life in the last decade?
No comment.
Yeah. You know the reason the writers end up doing most of their writing their books in Starbucks, don't you? Because you can't really masturbate in Starbucks. That's terrible. All right.
It's true.
It's true. You had sex last night. Fantastic, BobLoblaw. Yeah,
Woo!
One hoof.
Well, give him a round of applause.
And I don't know what you did with the hoof. So anyhow, all right. Well, we don't have much more to go here, so we just. Oh, look, and I love my new desk. This next desk is fabulous. I'll tell you, it's in. It's set up. I do work on it standing. I work at it sitting. I don't work at it at all sometimes. Now that I have this, yes.
The point of a desk is to make it look like you're working even when you're not.
That's right.
There we go.
A good desk should allow you to put your feet up and sleep.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just checking the stream, folks. He says he's running. Give me 1 second here.
Okay.
I think I got it. Give me just 1 second to check.
I want to thank everybody as he's checking. Thanks everyone for coming and making this show really rock and roll each week. It's fantastic.
Great time.
So that you guys all know who sit back and let us try to entertain you and make you laugh. You bring joy to our hearts because actually this is our outlet to be funny and enjoy ourselves. So thank you so much for every week that you show up. And hopefully you'll show up for the next 8 years.
He is running, folks.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night,
Yeah.